Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. Welcome back. Okay, so welcome back to Cat on Point. It is Weigh-In Wednesday, and I'm going to get right straight to the point. I got on the scale this morning, and what do you think? What do you bet happened? Up or down? I am up 0.6, and not my favorite thing to see, but you know what? I deserve it. I think I deserve that. Number one, let's go over why I think I deserve that. I got my appetite back this week. It had been missing since I had my knee surgery and I was on some meds, and it totally jived up my digestion, and I just wasn't hungry. I just felt like I thought, hey, why not use it? And so I did. I just didn't eat a lot those weeks, and I lost weight, right? But this week I gained, and it wasn't like I didn't go hog wild or anything like that. I did go out. I think we ate out twice. We went out once for anniversary, and then we got invited to a barbecue. It was for the kids on Saturday night, I think. And now it wasn't a barbecue. Since it was for kids, there weren't a lot of like substitutions and a lot of veggies and things like that they know that adults eat like when they're watching their weight. So there was slim pickings. So I had like a regular hamburger and like 6 chips and like a piece of pineapple, which isn't like a huge amount at all. Now I was hungry. I told myself I probably wasn't going to eat that night because I had like a normal day's amount of points in my tracker for that day, and that meant that I only had like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 points left for dinner. And I knew there was no way I was going to get that eating a regular hamburger and a regular bun. First off, I know that's going to just put me over. But after I got there and everybody was eating and I smelled the barbecue, I was outside sitting on the couch, I thought, man, I am hungry, and I don't want to be the weird one, you know what I mean, that doesn't eat anything at all, the only person that doesn't eat here. And so I ate, and it put me over on points. And sometimes that kind of thing happens. And yes, it's a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. And that one night itself didn't do it. Obviously, I had fallen short of having a deficit net last week. In order to lose, I need to, let's say I want to lose a pound a week. Well, I need to be lower on my caloric needs every day by like 500. That's a lot. So if I only want to lose half a pound of fat a week, I need to be under like 250 per day, which seems more doable. Is how to do that, right? There are a lot of free foods on Weight Watchers, so it's easy to be lower on points, but one thing you do need to remember is lower points doesn't mean no calories, so I could still be going over on my caloric needs, so I do need to watch that. So this week, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be using Weight Watchers, and as much as I hate counting calories, I don't want to be there forever, but I kind of want to do that also for a week. And I need to see, I need to make a deficit. Okay, so according to the calculators that you can find calorie calculators according to your BMI all over the internet. If I can remember, I'll try to put one down in the description bar below if you want to fiddle with one and see where you're supposed to be and what you need to be cutting out in order to lose weight. But according to those, which I kind of feel, they're not like according to my own bio-individuality. I am post-menopausal now. I'm 57. I'm a little older. I have thyroid issues. I have a whole lot of things going on hormonal-wise, and I don't really trust the calculator, but according to the calculator, in order to stay where I'm at, I'm supposed to have like 1,848 calories a day. I think that's way too high for me, but according to them, if I want to lose a half a pound a week, I'm going to go down to like 1,500 or so, and then 1,548 or something. And then if I want to lose a pound a week, I have to go all the way down to like 1,350 for the day. Is that possible? Yes, it's possible, but I don't think, I think that's still too high for me. But let's give it a go. So I think what I'm going to do this week, just for this week, because I don't like counting calories, is I'm going to cut 500 calories. I'm going to try to cut 500 calories on one day. So it's going to be like 3 days a week. So I'm going to scatter them. The next day I'll cut 250. The next day I'll cut 500. So I want to have 4 days a week where I'm cutting 250 and 3 days a week where I'm cutting 500. And then let's see what that does. According to the number they gave me, which is starting at like 1850 or so. And if that's too high, I'll find out on weigh-in day, won't I? So let's do that. It's going to be very interesting. I think the easiest way to cut 500 calories a day is to just skip a meal. That's probably the easiest way. And it's also the hardest way. It depends on how you feel about eating. I do not like skipping meals. I would rather crack the code on how to do this without skipping a meal. But let's wait and see, right? So, all right. I will take you through the day and I will show you. I'm going to cut 500 today. Tomorrow will be a cut 250 day. The next day will be 500 and so on. And I will be using my tracker to see what that looks like in the Weight Watcher app as well. Let's see what we can do and end up with this week, guys. All right, I will see you later. Do your best you can today. What are you doing? Are you mesmerized by the whole caloric in, caloric out thing? Because I know that it really is about that. But how do you feel about that? Let's talk about that. All right, guys. Love you a lot, and I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, P.S. I also wanted to let you know on the trail mix, I put 2 points of a serving in a baggie, and another baggie I put in with it with carrot chips, like a half a cup of carrot chips. And they're just carrots that are cut like chips. They're not like fried or anything like that. And that works like a charm. I think not only does the trail mix complement the taste of the carrots and they work well together, it's really good that way, but it's more filling and more satisfying. And I'm finding that if I don't want to eat the carrot chips, I just stay away from it altogether. So it's like curbing me from going for the trail mix. So I wanted to let you know that was a very good idea for me to do it that way, in case it helps anybody else. Pair something a little higher in points that you really want. Cut it way down and pair it with something that you know is going to be a freebie or lower in calories. All right, guys, see if that works. See you later. All right, for breakfast, I'm going to make a scramble. I've got 2 cups of fresh spinach, a little garlic, granulated garlic, and I'm going to use just a little bit of kosher salt. This is a nonstick pan, so I don't really need to put any oil in it to cook down spinach. It'll cook down really nicely. And then I'm going to add a half a cup of egg whites and 1 egg, and then I'm going to cook that up and add half an ounce of fat-free feta crumbles to make kind of like a little Greek scramble here. All right, here's my breakfast. So I am using One Food for Life Ezekiel 9 bread for 1 point here, and I'm going to have it dry because I don't want to count any more points on top of that. I don't want any more calories. I have 1 cup of blackberries here, so this whole breakfast here is going to be 367 calories, and it is 1 point. I didn't do the 1 point thing on purpose. It just worked out that way. Okay, with the Food for Life bread and the spinach fiber, I got too full and all that protein, so I couldn't eat the berries. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them aside and add a cheese stick to them, and this is what I'm going to have for a snack before lunch, probably in a couple hours. All right, before the day gets going too far gone, I'm going to put a quick veggie soup together because sometimes when you're hungry and you have something that's really low in points, it's going to fill you up like this is so important at the ready, and keeping you satiated, giving you your fiber and some extra nutrients inside of here. I just pulled a bunch of things out of the fridge, the freezer, the pantry. I'm using chicken broth. This is not a low sodium one, but it's from Sam's Club. I'm going to be using salt, pepper, some basil, some smoked paprika, onions, leeks, celery, carrots. I've got some of the corn that's roasted from Trader Joe's. I'm going to use a green pepper, some of this petite broccoli, probably like half a bag. And it's gonna have like a southwestern flair, so I'm gonna be using the black beans here, as well as the corn, and then some diced tomatoes. These ones come with Italian herbs. I didn't have the Mexican stewed ones. And then a couple cans of drained green beans and a can of tomato sauce. So I'm going to cook that up, cut everything up, and then see what that's like. Okay, so I am going to be cooking down my mirepoix, my carrots, leeks, celery, onions, peppers. Once that's good and soft, I'll add the green beans and the black beans, stir that up a bit, and then I'll add in 2 cups of frozen broccoli, 1 cup of the corn, and then I'm going to add in the stewed tomatoes and the tomato sauce next. Then I'm going to add the seasoning, which ended up being 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of the dried basil, and then maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of the pepper. And I don't salt it until it's all done cooking, just to make sure I know exactly how much to add. I'm going to add in the broth, and then I'm just going to cook this down. There's no meat in here. There's really no heavy starch that needs to be cooked, so it doesn't need to be cooked that long. It's going to probably cook on medium-high heat for about 20 minutes or so, and then I'm just going to simmer it. Look at all this goodness in here. You could add a can of drained diced potatoes if you want. You could add maybe like a half a cup of pasta or rice or something, but this is 0 points, and so that's what I'm looking for. All right, for lunch, I am going to be having 3 ounces of salmon, and all I'm going to do is just rub this aioli mustard from Trader Joe's on it, cook it at 400 for about 20 minutes, or 425, and I'm going to serve it with basmati rice and green beans. I'm going to have a cup of my 0 point soup, and this was extremely filling. What a marvelous lunch this was. All right, I have been keeping track of my calories as well as my WW app, and on my WW app, by the end of this day, I should still have 9 left over. I'm more than full right now. This food is just really keeping me up. So tonight at dinner, I'm going to be having 2 Sara Lee breads with 2 ounces of ham, a Laughing Cow wedge of cheese in it, so a ham and cheese sandwich, a cup of the 0 point veggie soup that I have, and I'm counting 50 calories for that, which I think is a little high, but it's okay. I found a recipe that was similar to that, and so that's what I'm going with. And then I'm going to have a pop chips bag for 100 calories, and also 1 peach that I'm going to de-skin, and that peach is going to be for dessert. I've been waiting on it for days. So I ended up this day with I'll end up with about 1,220 calories with all my food. And so today I was trying to cut 500 calories off of 1,850, which is my recommended daily allowance of calories to maintain. And so cutting 500 of that off would have taken me down to about 1,350, and I beat that by a little bit here. So I'm down at 1,221. So I have fallen within the zone. Okay, tomorrow is a minus 250. I've been drinking a ton of water today. Tomorrow is minus 250 calories, not minus 500. So let's see how we do then. All right, I gotta get ready to take the kids to the dentist. I'm a little bit of a mess right now. Sorry, it's been a long day. Okay, so so far so good. The salmon's not my favorite, but it seems to do the job. It has a little bit higher fat in it as a fish, so it does keep me full longer. Now tomorrow's gonna be a little tricky because cutting 250 calories might be kind of tough because tomorrow's date night. So we really need to watch where we go and what we order. So I should do okay, but I'm gonna have that in my mind throughout the day and throughout my planning. So, okay guys, I'm gonna let you go for today, and I will see you tomorrow. And here's my dinner. I have got some veggie chips here, cucumbers and carrots. I've got my ham and cheese sandwich with Laughing Cow cheese and 2 ounces of ham, and I'm using mustard instead of mayonnaise. And I've got lettuce and tomatoes and onions and pickles. I have a cup of my 0-point veggie soup I made today. I'm going to have a bag of pop chips, the barbecue. And for dessert, I'm going to have this wonderful blanched peach. And I have one of those sparkling waters for a drink. And that's going to be the end of the day. See you guys tomorrow.